that active and defending.
I think it's like
people deluded. I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on. As the big man Ian Wright just said there, people deluded, I'm back again. Let's see what the latest views, rumours, talking points, Arsenal transfers, all of that jazz from the journalists and they're in the know. Now, as we know, the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. Until people are holding shirts, signed for the club on the dotted line, I's dotted, T's crossed, anything can happen. We've been linked with Asensio, we've been linked with a bunch of stuff, people. Declan Rice rumours won't go away, etc., etc. Allegedly, Arsenal are considering a move for Marco Asensio for a potential free transfer. We're forever linked with him, so forgive my pessimism. Early internal talks regarding Asensio occurred in recent days. Club now exploring the financial optics of a move. Very early days will only develop if the situation is right for Arsenal. This deal is one that Arsenal would only move upon if all conditions are correct for the club. Nothing may come of it, just exploratory talks from the club currently. Several other clubs are interested in Asensio, such as Aston Villa and Newcastle. Arsenal will not break the bank if they attempt to move for Asensio. So if other clubs push other significant financial packages, Arsenal will step away from pursuing a potential deal. Smash the like button, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. My thoughts would be the first thing on ability. I'm having Asensio. You know, he's got a wealth of experience that can play. He's a goal scoring midfielder. He's got a wand of a left foot. Obviously, Arteta is Spanish. He can relate to him. He's got Champions League experience. You know, while he's been a peripheral figure, a bit part player, never really a regular in Real Madrid's colours, especially in Europe, you know, because of the players they've had. He has proved pivotal. So there's a lot to like about him. Obviously, financially, if I'm him, or I play for Real Madrid. I play for my country. I've won several Champions Leagues. He's at a good age in his 20s. I'm going to want a great financial package, maybe even earn more than I'm on currently at Real Madrid. As you know, his contract is running down, especially if I'm a free agent. I should get a bigger sell-on fee and maybe a more important contract. So I don't know. Newcastle are probably going to make more marquee signings, and he could be a statement for them. Obviously, there's the London aspect versus living in Newcastle to consider, as well as the sport in front. Aston Villa, he knows he's got Uno Emery there. So it all depends really and truly. I don't really buy it, but I could see it. You know, there's hella players that are, you know, again, it's just business. You know, there's hella players that are probably offered to clubs on behalf of their agents, just seeing if things can be done. So if the financial conditions are right and Arteta wants it, fair enough. I'm not really convinced on it for being the best of fits for Arsenal, especially because 24 hours ago, you heard that him and Real Madrid, the talks are kind of dead and he will leave on a free. Barcelona have also been linked with him. Allegedly, the key reasons behind Asensio's decision, he prefers to play behind the striker, which you could do. I think you could be a good 8 in Arsenal's system, or Odegaard could go there. But you've got Odegaard, Smith Rowe, whose days may or may not be numbered, Fabio Vieira, who's more an 8 that says he prefers to play as a 10. I don't know where you're at with that, but how much game time are you going to get in the 10? Now, Arsenal will be able to offer you more minutes starting and just more collective minutes than the role you currently face at Real Madrid, but you'd have to see. He believes his numbers should have been more rewarding by receiving more starts, lack of minutes in big games. Obviously, you've got the Euros on the horizon. He wants to be happy and feel important. I think Arsenal could hit those conditions, but we'd have to see, people. Moving away from that, again, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, smashing the like button, offering your thoughts on everything we're going over. On Declan Rice, Romano has said Arsenal have not changed their plans for Declan Rice as a top target. Opening bid to be submitted in June, waiting for West Ham to clarify final price tag. Nothing is agreed or done. Race remains open. Other clubs are also interested, so timing will be crucial, people. Moving along, Declan Rice is ready to make it clear that his preference is to join Arsenal this summer, according to John Cross. I still feel Arsenal are the favourites to land Declan Rice. They are more advanced than any other club for his signature. A bid will be submitted in the coming weeks, says Fabrizio Romano once again. Rice is ready to make it clear he favours a move to Arsenal this summer. West Ham are expecting anything from 100 million to 100 plus. You know, Manchester United, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Newcastle, City are all alleged to Chelsea to have interest in this individual. So we'd have to see really and truly exactly what's being said there. He prefers Arsenal over United. Allegedly, Mount prefers United over Arsenal. Apparently, Romano said, Yes, Ten Hag is an admirer. I think that's normal. It is the same with Mikel Arteta, and I think that Arsenal are the favourites to sign Declan Rice. Where we heard this before, they've been working on that deal, and it was in January when they started discussing Rice internally. They've already had him at the top of the list for midfield, so I'm sure Arsenal will make a move for Declan Rice in coming weeks. And apparently West Ham want Balogun, so maybe there's something to be done there. Arsenal, in relation to Balogun, are reportedly willing to sell. Are willing to sell, and the likes of Leipzig and AC Milan are both showing an interest. So I'd have to see. Apparently, we're seeking a fee of 26 million. Surely we can add a bit of tax if he's going to West Ham. In relation to two players who are currently at the club, Wolves will be the last game for Granit Xhaka before he completes his long-anticipated move to Bayern Leverkusen, says Ryan Taylor of the Daily Express. And also Arsenal are to confirm a new deal for Reece Nelson, which will be a 4-year deal plus the option of another one. So if nothing comes of it, at least we're in a stronger position to sell him because he was walking out for free. Carrying on the theme with Hayland, Charles Watts has said Arthur Okonkwo is attracting strong transfer interest both from clubs in England and Germany. And he done well initially. Forgive me if I'm wrong. There's so many players. I'm sure he was at Crewe. Then he went to Austria, where he's actually done well in goal and won a trophy. Obviously, I don't know what we're going to do with Matt Turner for next season and beyond. But right now, you can't see him featuring anything other than a third choice capacity. Ramsdale signed a new deal. And, you know, once you're a young player, minutes are like a drug. Minutes are currency. You can train with a first team and travel and go on pre-season tours, but you're playing, you're seeing the fans in the stadium, you're living the emotional periods, good and bad, at football clubs. It's very difficult to go back to sitting on the bench, being a third choice keeper, really just participating in training, really, and relying on the occasional cup starts, which Ramsdale needs to play almost every game unless someone better than him. I don't, respectfully to Matt Turner, don't really want to see you in the Champions League or the Prem, and to Arthur. Obviously, the League Cup, depending on the opposition, you lot can get your game time, which would probably be Turner's for young Arthur, probably a myth. So just for me, if I'm him, you got a new deal last summer. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Go out on loan, keep playing, man. Minutes are currency, really. Charles Watcher said the end is near at nigh for Smith Rowe, or appears nigh. I don't know whether or not Nelson stays or he goes. It's a tough one to come to any conclusions. Then he's a potential player, could leave this summer. Hopefully Smith Rowe doesn't leave. But yeah, allegedly Arsenal's initial offer of 15 million plus add-ons for Matheus Franca from Flamengo has been rejected. Newcastle have also expressed an interest in the player. We was linked with Ibrahim Abamba during January. He'll play his last game for Victoria today against Porto. He's expected to make a big move. Allegedly, Aston Villa have been tracking him for a long time, but nothing has been agreed yet. There are many clubs keen on him. There's been no talks with Arsenal despite links, allegedly. So, yeah. Ben Jacobs on Mason Mount and James Maddison has said Arsenal are aware of Maddison's situation but have other priorities. So that tells you we're not in for him. A fee could be 40 to 45 pounds, and the player could be an option as an alternative for Mount, where if they're asking 80 million for Mount, it's crazy, really. But forgive me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong, and there might be an option of another year. But is James Maddison not contracted until 2024? Obviously, he's finally getting in the England side. You have the Euros to think about. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that playing in the Championship. If they've been relegated and the contract is running down, I'm sure they want to keep hold of Maddison, but surely he could do his part to force a move either to Arsenal or elsewhere. I reckon he goes Newcastle. Tierney would now command a fee of 30 million. Newcastle are very much keen. It's a fair price, but it's also not, because if we tried to buy him from Newcastle, how much are they going to offer? He has the quality to be one of the best left backs in the league and start as well, really. And he's of a nice age. For him, it'd be great. Champions League, Eddie Howe will use you in your traditional role. Newcastle is about 5 minutes away from Scotland, so you'll be closer to your family. I actually don't know if Scotland have qualified for the Euros or if that's actually done, but you need to play everyone that has a chance of going to the Euros, especially players that are nailed on. So forgive me if I'm wrong, but if Scotland are, Tierney is nailed on going. You want to play games and go into that tournament with the best conditions, really. So we'll have to see. Arsenal are one of 2 English clubs informed on the Sasha Boy deal conditions, but told no meeting took place with Arsenal at this stage. The Galatasaray board asked for at least 25 million euros during meetings in London. He changed agents and he's now with CAA Stella, now representing Boy, as reported yesterday. So we'll have to see, really. And truly, you did hear that the Galatasaray board were in London, and that's been confirmed by Romano. Once again, Granit Xhaka, that is expected to play one last game at home to Wolves, and then complete his move to Leverkusen. Final details are to be sorted next week, but deal almost agreed, as revealed 2 weeks ago, people. So we'll have to look at that one. Allegedly, people, there was talk of a release clause for in Saka's deal. But if you look at the Daily Mail here, people, Arsenal resisted requests to insert a release clause in Saka's new contract and instead agreed to give the England forward a shorter deal than many had expected, with the 21-year-old signing on for 4 more years this week. The compromise suits both parties, with Arsenal protecting Saka's transfer value and the player keeping his options open should he wish to move on in 2 years' time, when the club will either cash in or offer him another new deal. Isn't there an option of a fifth? I hope there is, or if not, boy, at 26, if my maths is right, boy, he could finally be the Saka that he has the potential to be. And you've only got one career. I'm sure he wants to achieve things with Arsenal, but if we're going one way and other teams are doing others, or if situations change, you know what time it is. Unlike some Premier League clubs, Arsenal are reluctant to follow the European model, giving players set release clauses, and prefer to trust in the negotiating skills of the transfer team led by sporting director Edu. Saka's contract has trebled his basic wages to about 200k a week, but he could earn as much as 290k if performance targets are met. So we'll have to monitor that one closely. Again, seeing what Goal.com have linked us with. Arsenal are set to win the race to sign Declan Rice, or Declan Rice, if as that typo says. Arsenal have had a bid rejected of 17 million euros for Boy of Galatasaray. Nelson has agreed a new contract. We've been linked with Rabiot. We've been linked with Conde. Declan Rice has been linked with Bayern Leverkusen. We've been linked with a Torino striker, Antonio Sanabria, who's got 12 goals and 3 assists this season in their league, which I think is his league high. So unless Arteta's got a plan, don't really think that's the striker that's going to be better than what Balogun in theory could be, or immediate first-team options, Trossard, Martinelli, obviously Jesus and Eddie Nketiah. We've been linked with Dominic Szoboszlai and Dani Almo. That's the third Leipzig player to follow Simikan as well. Talks continue over a new deal for Odegaard and Benjamin White. Saka's got a new deal. Nelson's on the verge of a new deal. We've been linked with Joshua Kimmich and Mohamed Kudus. Xhaka is leaving. Burnley, are keen to sign Lokonga on loan. We've been linked with Gundogan and Cancelo, as you lot know. Gundogan, Cancelo, Caicedo are probably the names, excluding Declan Rice, that are always linked. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed, whether it's the Saka stuff we looked at, the transfer news, anything else, people. Let me know your thoughts when this video is premiering. Comment a comment after in the video section. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new here. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you lot soon.
There's always that active and defending.
I think it's like